Hello, Peter4790 or Cyrus as I'm known on PS and Xbox Live here, and welcome to my review of Atelier Meruru. Now we've reached the end of the Atelier Arland series with its final and third iteration, Atelier Meruru. Note that I say Atelier Arland. The Atelier series is still going on with Atelier Aishi being released in Japan in a few coming months. When Atelier Meruru was announced, I was pleasantly surprised by it. Surprised because it's coming out so soon when Atelier Tutori hasn't even came out a year yet, so yeah. As a fan of previous Atelier Arland games, I knew I had to get Atelier Meruru for the annual trilogy. Now for the people who haven't watched my Atelier Tutori review, why I really like the Atelier Arland series is for its lighthearted story, which is a nice change of pace from RPG's epic tales of saving the world, and its fantastic alchemy system. Now after extensively playing through Atelier Meruru, I would like to give my opinion on the game. Atelier Meruru is an RPG/console style RPG that's created by Gus, which is also owned by Tecmo Koei now, for people who are interested, and published by NISA of America. Visually, Atelier Meruru looks pretty good. Atelier Meruru graphical style uses cel-shaded graphics that can be described as looking at a pastel painting, and it works wonderfully. It really shows the vibrancy of the Kingdom of Aros in Atelier Meruru, and is a huge improvement over the past Atelier Arland games, graphic-wise. Environments are also pretty good. There's also a good amount of variety in environments, but did notice that there weren't as many places in Atelier Meruru as Tutori. But the individual levels are bigger than Tutori's, which balance it off. The story is also pretty simple and lighthearted like the previous Atelier games. You play as Meruru's Raid Aros, or Meru for short, who has become Tutori's apprentice, and also the princess of the small kingdom of Aros. In the hopes of gaining her father's approval of her becoming an alchemist, she must develop the kingdom of Aros so it can be ready for the merge with the Republic of Arland. While Atelier Meruru's story is grander in scale, it still retains that simple and lighthearted feeling in its plot, which, like Atelier Tutori, I found refreshing. But while I enjoyed the story in Atelier Meruru, I probably found Atelier Tutori better, and that's mostly because of Meruru's motivation to develop the kingdom. I mean, her dream to see the outside world is admirable, but I didn't really feel it was as compelling as Tutori's dream of seeing her mother again. So story-wise, in the trilogy, I'd probably give it to Tutori. But I still enjoy Atelier Meruru's story, even though I like Atelier Tutori's story more. Now if you've never played any of the other Atelier games, then there is a prologue option in the title screen that will give you an overview of what happened in the previous games. Though the story isn't really directly connected, so it's really for people who are curious to what happened in the previous games. Character wise, this is a bit tricky. This is tricky because there's a good amount of characters that come from previous Arland games, more so than Atelier Tutori. In fact, more than half of the characters you can put in your party comes from previous games. So chances are that if you like the characters in the previous games, you like them in Atelier Meruru. For me personally, I really like most of the characters that came from past Atelier Arland games, especially SD. Well, except for one. And that would be Rorona. I really didn't like how they changed her to a child. As for the new characters, their interaction are entertaining, but I probably like them less than the previous characters. Well, except for Meruru, which I really like how outgoing and energetic she is, and Rufus. The soundtrack is great, like Atelier Tutori. There are tracks in Atelier Meruru soundtrack that ranges from the soothing music you hear in the Kulai Forest, to the epic battle themes you hear in battle. And for some reason, I really like Alchemy Girl Meruru song. I'm not really sure why, but I just love that battle theme. Voice acting is also pretty good for the most part, though there is a Japanese dub option if you don't like the English voice acting. Though the whole presentation of Atelier Meruru won't really draw in new fans. It could draw in anime fans like Atelier Tutori, but it's pretty niche in its target audience. That's not really a bad thing in my honest opinion, but overall, Atelier Meruru got a solid presentation which the fans of the series will love.
Really, Atelier, it's time to get serious. You think you can keep up? See if you can spot me. tougher than I thought.
I first described how Atelier Meruru is structured. Like the previous Atelier games, the game has a time system, which means you have to complete certain objectives before certain dates. Doing certain actions such as synthesizing, material gathering, fighting, traveling, etc. will cost time. The overall objective at Atelier Meruru is to get the population to 30,000. In the span of 3 years. Like Atelier Tutori, there is an additional objective after those 3 years, but I won't really say what it is in case of spoilers. In order to get the population up, you will need to develop the surrounding areas of Aros. In order to do that, you will receive letters in Meruru's mailbox, which you have to give to Rufus so he'll give you a clear indication of what you have to do in order to fully develop the areas, such as clearing all enemies in a certain area, delivering top-notch items to certain areas, etc. As you complete these objectives, you get development points, which you can use in order to create facilities in the kingdom that will increase your population, along with other useful abilities, such as creating a factory that gives you an allowance on the 24th of each month, or expanding the school so you get more experience points when you're in battle. The game will also keep track of all your development points, so when you get enough, your kingdom can rank up, which will give you great bonuses such as increasing the population count, getting alchemy books, and other goodies. You will also need to keep your popularity up by doing tavern quests, though the tavern quests are pretty easy to do this time and less of a hassle since there's no time limit to them, and they do earn you money, and also development points because of the Royal Duty development plan, so there's benefits to doing them as well. And that's the overall structure of Atelier Meruru. Like Atelier Tutori, you are given a clear objective of what you have to do, and you have a good amount of freedom to achieve it. Though Atelier Meruru is less open than Atelier Tutori, since not everything you do increases your population, as compared to Tutori where everything you did increased your adventure points, I do feel that developing the various areas around Aros and developing facilities is more rewarding than ranking up, as they're not only gameplay additions such as gaining more experience in battle, gaining money every month, decreasing synthesis time, etc., but also seeing the areas you develop change from a desolate wasteland to a thriving village is really satisfying, especially when they yield more high quality materials from that area. And Atelier Meruru still retains a part of Atelier Tutori's structure in terms of the Royal Duty development plan, as it rewards you development points for everything you do, leveling up adventurer points, using bombs, using medicines, etc. So overall, Atelier Meruru's structure is more formulaic than Atelier Tutori, as you need to develop areas in order to increase population, as in Tutori everything you did increase the adventure points. But at the same time, it feels more rewarding than Tutori, as the areas you develop give you great bonuses. And also, I found that Atelier Meruru is more lenient than Atelier Tutori in terms of time management, which is a plus. Now for the combat system. I really found it fun. Like in Atelier Tutori, you'll be able to recruit numerous characters to join a party, and each of the characters are more different from each other, which is an improvement of Atelier Tutori, where I felt there wasn't that much difference between the characters. In combat, there's the HP, MP, assist, time card, and special gauge. The HP and MP bar is self-explanatory. The LP bar, like Atelier Tutori, is a gauge that indicates the fatigue of your party members. The time card indicates the turn order of Atelier Meruru, and you'll be able to manipulate the turn order by various actions such as defending, which gives it more depth than Atelier Tutori, where you couldn't really change the turn order, well, except for using a dimension egg. The assist bar is also improved as there are more options for assist attack, which will unleash very strong attacks by amplifying the item that Meruru uses, and by combining the attack of the other two party members. It's improved from Atelier Tutori, as I found assist attack in that game to be kinda useless, and a waste on the assist bar, where Atelier Meruru is more a viable option. The special gauge remains the same, where it will build up as you do more actions such as attacking, assisting Meruru, and when it fills up, the bar on the far left, you'll be able to unleash a deadly attack. Though, there is one aspect that I really liked about the special attacks, even though it doesn't really add to the combat mechanics. When the special attack is about to finish off an enemy, the animation either actually changes from a previous special attack, like Strick's Gaia Breaker, or is an extension like SD's Lovely Shadow. And if it's the last enemy left, the background music actually changes to the character's specific theme.
Serious. Take this! Can you even keep up? We're almost done! Now take off! Now I've got you! Go ahead! Keep on like it!
It doesn't add to the combat mechanics, but still gave me a great feeling of satisfaction when I pulled it off. Overall, the combat system is an improvement of Atelier Tutori, and I actually found it fun with the addition of the time card mechanic and the improvement of the assist attack mechanic. Now we get to the alchemy part of Atelier Meruru, where it's very strong at. Like in the previous Atelier Arland games, the synthesis system is very easy to understand, but also got tons of depth to it. In order to do synthesis in the game, you need to get recipes for items which you can obtain by leveling up your alchemy level, or getting alchemy books / references by ranking up the kingdom, or buying them from stores. Once you get the recipe, you just need to get the ingredients to create the item. Once you gain the ingredients, take note of the ingredient trait level and traits, as those will be significant in determining the effectiveness of your synthesized item. You'll also be able to combine several traits to create super traits that will make your item even better. Also take note of Meruru's alchemy level, as that is an important indication if Meruru can make the item in the first place. If not, she'll mess up, which will create an explosion. In cutscene anyway. Overall, the alchemy system is easy to understand, but also got tons of depth to it, since you need to take consideration of the item quality and traits, which will dramatically determine how the item functions. Difficulty wise, I found the battle a bit tougher than Atelier Tutori, but I put it around the easy normal difficulty. Lengthwise, it took me around 29 hours to complete the game, though there is tons of replay value with the different kind of endings you can obtain in the playthrough of the game. Overall, Atelier Meruru is a great way to end the trilogy. It got a lighthearted story that I enjoyed, the combat system is improved, actually fun to me, the alchemy system is fantastic as the previous games, and the developing area around Arland is very rewarding. There are a few stuff that's better than Atelier Tutori, such as the combat system being more engaging in Atelier Meruru. Also a few stuff that it does inferior to Atelier Tutori, such as Meruru being less open than Atelier Tutori. But I still have to say that Atelier Meruru is on par with Atelier Tutori. But overall, I still have to say that Atelier Meruru is still a fantastic way to end the trilogy. Improved on various gameplay mechanics such as the combat system, and gave us one last chance to play the numerous characters that we met through the trilogy as the Atelier Arland games come to an end. I personally give this game an 8 out of 10, a great game to end the Atelier Arland trilogy.